going on, world? It's your boy Kuya P. This is the NRW Nerds Rule the World, here to do another interview with another amazing creative. I'm happy to have a longtime friend, also podcaster as well, a good cat. We broke down some horror movies, I think, the last time we chatted. We did like a Filipino horror movie, which was super dope. But I'm talking about my good friend, Jeremy Whitley. You know him from Princeless, from The Wasp. But he's got this new project with Macmillan called The Dog Knight. Let's talk all the things. Let me put him up on the screen. You don't want to just see me. You're here because you clicked on this thumbnail because you saw Jeremy Whitley was coming through. Let me put him on. There he is. Jeremy Whitley.
What's up, y'all?
Great to see you, brother. It's been a minute. Life is blessed. Thank you for getting up on a late night Friday to talk to your boy. I can't thank you enough, man. But I'm excited, dude. You're bringing some stuff for the middle school kids, and you know, I love projects like this. I love to spread like comic stuff to the youngsters and get them going and getting them reading. And I think books like this is a good gateway for them to get it if they don't want to pick up like, you know, those other kind of page turners and they want some illustrations with it. I love TPB trades and graphic novels now. I'm sounding like an old man, but they didn't just have this kind of stuff when we were kids, man. So
yeah,
I love to see it, brother.
You couldn't get it collected. You had to go find it in the dollar bin, you know?
Right? How you been, brother? How's everything?
Oh, I'm good. This has been a big project for me. It's like something we've been working on since like before the pandemic started. Like we were working on Dog Night, so finally getting it out there in the world and getting to go around and, you know, talk to some folks about it, go to conventions and go to schools and things. It's been really awesome. This is a book I love, and I love, you know, getting it out there and actually getting to have a new thing come out to talk to people about.
Yes. All right, man. So, you know, we know you from The Wasp. We know you from Princeless. But tell me when this germ started seeping into your head and made you put, you know, either fingers to keyboard or pen to pad. Tell me how the Dog Night started off for you.
Well, this one was a strange one because for me, a lot of the times it starts off with character, and this one started off with just this idea I had of like, you know, this character who is a knight who, you know, is basically working with this group of dogs to help save the world, right? They're all dogs with special powers, but they don't have the power to, you know, communicate with every human the way that they need to get stuff done sometimes. So, you know, they need a human who's on their side who exemplifies all of these like dog values, right? Like, you know, we talk about particular values when we're looking at knights and stuff in Arthurian legends. So I was like, what would be the things that like dogs would go for? So like, you know, it's the normal stuff like loyalty, like justice, but also there's things like sense of smell and stubbornness. You know, these are things that are important to dogs. So it sort of started off with this idea, and it was one of those that like I sent the idea to my agent with like a real kind of rough, this is what I'm thinking for the dogs and stuff like that. And my agent Mo was like, I know exactly where to take this. You know, shout it over to Fywell and Friends. They had a couple of like notes and ideas and stuff they wanted to add, and they wanted to have some input on the artist, but immediately they were like really excited for the book.
Love it. Okay. I gotta ask, you must be a dog owner. I don't know if we've talked about this. I've got 2 dogs myself. Shout out to Alfred and Lily Bell. They're walking around here. You don't see it right now because of the background, because I want to spotlight your stuff. But so dogs, and I'm just curious, and if you have a pair, you know, a pair of your own, or a dog, or just why dogs?
So I grew up in a cat household, but I've never been like a cat person.
I grew up in a cat household too. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, and my daughters really wanted to get a dog. I'm mildly allergic to dogs. I'm very allergic to cats. So I was like, I don't know, but like they really wanted to get a dog, and so like we went to a rescue, and we found our guy Ace. He's an old guy. He's probably about 12 or 13, as far as the vets know, but he's a dog with incredibly chill vibes. He just lays around, hangs out. He goes for a walk a couple times a day. He doesn't really bother anybody unless he wants food or pets. But yeah, he's He's very chill. I think when we went to the rescue, there were a whole bunch of dogs running around out there. It's a whole like outside area, and my daughters were throwing balls and watching all the other dogs chase them. And Ace was the one dog that was like not interested in chasing the balls. He just sort of like sidled up next to me and was like, "Hey, you want to scratch me, right?" Like just just sort of bumping into me with his side, like you know what I'm about, right?
I love it. I love it. Wasn't Ace Batman's dog?
He is.
Yeah. Is that why Ace or no?
It's actually a combination of things because when we got him, he had his original paperwork. I guess he had been like seized from a place where they had gotten a whole bunch of different dogs, and they had just basically given him like card designations. So he was like 5 clubs. There were so many dogs that like they just had to use a whole pack of cards. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like the card thing, but like he's our ace, right? Like, and you name after Batman's dog. It's a nice like combination of things.
I love it. All right. Dog Night again, y'all, is available right now from Macmillan. Go check it out. Grab yourself a copy. So let's get back to it, my friend. I'm sorry to take you on a tangent, but I had to know about that connection a little bit. I love it. As a pet owner myself, brother. So you talk to your agent, you get the concept down. Tell me about putting it together and then bringing on the collaborators, Bray Indigo and Melissa. I'm gonna mess up her last name, Capriglione.
That's pretty close. Yeah. So the one thing I knew about the main character from the very start. Her name is Frankie. I knew I wanted them to be non-binary. I wanted this to be like they're working some stuff out for themselves. Like they are out already, but like they're still trying to figure out where they fit in the world. And they have these dogs with them. Dogs. I think one of the great things about dogs, things people love, is dogs are non-judgmental. They love you no matter what your deal is. They're there for you. And so I knew I wanted this character to be non-binary and sort of like figuring some stuff out. And I wanted to make sure that, when Macmillan said they wanted to have input on artists, I was like, that's fine with me as long as I want to find like a good non-binary artist to work on this book, because I don't want it to be something where I am explaining my understanding of like of being non-binary to some other guy, who has nothing to contribute on that front. And they were like, cool, that's a great idea. We love that. And they brought me like a stack of, different artists, stuff to go through. And Breeze was the first one. And immediately I was like, that's the one. They're perfect. This is great stuff. If we can get them, they're going to bring the perfect feeling to this book. And Bree's been great. Like they're quite a bit younger than me. They're still, getting into comics, but they're like better with every page they turn in. And they always, they have so much energy and they want to bring ideas to it, which is like, that's what I love with an artist who like comes in and they're like, hey, I have an idea of a thing I want to do. Like, what if we did this? What if we added that? And I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's make it fun. Yeah, I want you to enjoy what you're drawing in there. You're going to turn out 200 pages. You should be having fun doing it. And they've been great. So it's been a joy. And Melissa came in right behind Brie, and Melissa is like, she's fantastic. She's actually working with myself and Ben, my podcast co-host, on another book right now, and she's really great. She just had a book come out from Dark Horse that's really like all her as well, which like she's a very multi-talented. She's got a lot of things going.
Shout out to them, man. That's awesome. One of the things and I want to highlight this that you said, having the character be non-binary. I love that. And the fact that this is a middle school project, because kids are still figuring themselves out. And we were all trying to figure ourselves out at the time. So I think it's a universal thing that everyone can relate to. I love that. Why I've known you for a while, but I guess in your own words, why was it so important for you to just stress that? I don't know if you said that already, but in case I missed it, let's highlight that again. Why it was important for the character to be non-binary and for these young middle school kids to see that representation as well.
Yeah, I think like for me, representation has always been a big thing. I always want to have like characters who represent different folks in my audience, different types of people who often aren't given the chance to be heroes in stories. that's always been big. That's where I started with Princeless. And that's something that, I see my girls latch on to, not just in comics, but in movies and TV shows, seeing people who are like them in different ways, or that, they could be like, in different ways, seeing options that they didn't realize were there, which I think is very important. And I've got a lot of friends who are non-binary, and I feel like I hadn't seen a lot of, you know, there's been, I think, more of stretching that binary of more queer characters, more female characters and stuff, and non-binary is still sort of a place in the middle that people are kind of figuring out, right? Like they don't, a lot of people don't understand who non-binary people are, what they're about. And this was is important to me to like put this out there, especially at a time where, in the last few years, you've been seeing a lot of like politicians and talking heads and stuff, just like who have no idea what they're talking about, come out there and attack people for, who they are, without knowing anything about them. And I think it's important that kids have a place where they can see people like themselves or people like their friends portrayed, as heroes. They can learn about non-binary people without it being through the filter of, some Twitter or news channel or something, and then, through people who hate them.
Definitely agree with that. And I love that, Jeremy. That's why you're one of the good guys out there, man. I love it. So developing it, you got your team, you got your message together. While you're putting together a book or close towards the end, I'm thinking like a filmmaker. I was thinking post-production, but you're always in production with a graphic novel. You're trading back and forth with your artists. Was there any key moments, I guess, for those that might have not read the book or those have read the book that you maybe found difficult, or just was the key part of your story that you really wanted to just get across, or have you received feedback now that it is out that really hit people home that you really are happy and proud about within the book?
Yeah, I think it's the interesting thing that's kind of difficult sometimes is balancing with something like this, the funny and the important stuff, because like it is ultimately a book full of talking dogs who all have sort of hilarious personalities. I wanted to make sure all of them had voices, and that you really sort of like get a feeling for what they're like, because like when you're reading it, everybody's gonna attach to different characters, I found, but I think my favorite is the Yorkshire Terror, who is the
I love that.
Yeah, he's a little Yorkie who thinks he's Batman. So, he's just he's always gruff and serious, and he's got sort of a little bit of Darkwing Duck in there. And I wanted to, combine that with like these really like heartfelt moments with Frankie sort of figuring stuff out. And I think a lot of that really came together for me with Bree's art, because there's these big moments, I think, in the later part of the book where there's sort of like the trial of smell, I think, was like a thing that I was never sure how that was going to work until I got there, right? Because I was like, it's easy for dogs to test a human for like loyalty and things like that, but I was like, what are we going to do with smell? And then I got there and I was like, Frankie's been having this thing throughout where they talk about like this feeling in their stomach, feeling like things aren't quite right, like they don't quite belong, like, they need to do something different. And that sort of being their version of this sense of smell, of like trying to, find the right thing and figure this stuff out. It's not about the nose, it's about, the stomach for them more than anything. And having this moment in there where like they find a clothing shop that's run by other, queer people in the community who are like, who help them find stuff that fits them and that they like. And, because I think that's a problem that I sympathize with as a big guy, is like not being able to go to a store and like find stuff that fits you and you feel like you look good in. And, I think it's something that a lot of non-binary people struggle with as well, because the clothes aren't necessarily made to fit them. So, they've got to find, the place that will, that welcomes them in and wants to find stuff for them. And then this moment of like finding community and everything, I think was a big moment for for me, that's a breakthrough in writing, and then I think really ends up singing in the book because Brie does such a great job of giving them sort of a variety of outfits and looks and feels that you really get to see Frankie's excitement and personality come out of it.
Wow, I love that. So you also found a part of yourself in the writing that you're now going to take forward into other projects. It seems like is what I gathered what you just said, right? That
absolutely.
I love that. That's dope. Because every project you learn something new. I think with everything I do, if you're not taking from what you're doing and taking it on, you're not growing, and we all got to grow. Because I know I'm not perfect with everything I do. So I love that, man. That's amazing. And you got me kind of psyched. I can't wait to read this book. The Yorkshire Terror. I love that. So is this a little bit of Arthurian legend in certain respects with knights, and I'm assuming the dogs of this round table, or I don't know. Could we see more? Is this the start of? Well, actually, I think I did see. This is a trilogy.
Yeah.
Right.
This is the first of 3 books. I've already written all 3. Bree is drawing the second one as we speak. So,
yeah. Oh man, right, I can't wait. So the fans that probably have already picked up the book, they're tuning in, they're watching this. Do you know when the second one's going to drop? Is there a production timeline yet for any of it?
Hopefully, if everything turns out right. I mean, obviously, there's Bree and Melissa are the ones doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
But if everything goes the way it's supposed to, hopefully you should be seeing the next one next summer.
Love it. Okay, y'all. Again, The Dog Knight is available right now from Macmillan, and fingers crossed we'll have part 2 next year in 2024. Before I let you go, Jeremy, man, you're awesome, but I know you're also writing some other things and doing a lot of other things. Can we talk a little bit about that? Or if not, if you don't want to spoil and get in trouble, I don't want to get you in trouble. Let's throw them social handles out there so people can follow you and do all the things. And your other great podcast that is amazing in talking horror movies and all that.
Yeah, so my podcast is Progressively Horrified. It's on wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can follow us on Twitter at Prog Horror Pod. We also have a Patreon on that. As far as comics, I'm getting ready to. I have a My Little Pony miniseries that's an adaptation of Wizard of Oz that's starting up in August. So that should be running through the rest of the year. Obviously, we're working on the second Dog Night, the second book of School for Extraterrestrial Girls, which I do with our buddy Jamie Noguchi.
Yeah, shout out to Jamie.
Yeah, that'll be out in November. I've already seen it. It's finished. It looks amazing. Jamie's really killing it. So that is dropping in November, and then Titan just announced I'm doing my first grown-up graphic novel, more mature readers kind of thing, called The Cold Ever After, which I described as an Arthurian noir, which is coming out in February.
All right. Oh man, we're gonna have to have you back, bro. Talk
Absolutely.
All of those projects, man. I'd love to chat it up. And have Jamie on too, man. Let's get the whole squad on, man. Let's bring everybody on board. Sure. Brother, again, you're one of the classiest guys I know. You always kill it. Amazing, man. Shout out to you and everybody on Dog Night. Everybody go check it out. It's available right now. Jeremy, go pick up Princess, pick up School of Extraordinary, pick up all the things, and I'll have them back, man. Jeremy, you're amazing. Appreciate you as always, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Jeremy Whitley, your boy Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll have all the links to Jeremy in the description below. So go do all that and check out the Progressively Horrified podcast. All right, we out.